I'm plating. On me, there's a guy as well. I'm dead. Man.
No shot. I died to the zone, bro.
Bro, he's...
No.
Today, I'm detailing everything wrong with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0, and it is a lot to cover. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Dopamine, back with another video. Talking about everything wrong with Warzone 2.0 is like talking about everything wrong with my upload schedule. Bruh. Let's get to it. I'm gonna cover everything from gameplay aspects to actual hardware issues, so let's get down to business. Right off the bat, as soon as I touched my mouse with my crusty Cheeto hands, I immediately noticed the insane skill gap, or lack thereof. The skill gap in this version of Warzone is more invisible than my high school girlfriend that lives 2 hours away. Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0 literally have no skill gap. The problem with this is that Activision Blizzard has intentions to release a ranked version into the game. This is problematic when your game fails to have a proper skill gap because a player who's literally brain dead can kill you even though you're the better player. Consider this complex scenario. One of the best things about Warzone 1 is the advertisements and endorsements coming in by content creators, essentially giving Call of Duty Warzone 1 free advertisements. This occurred because content creators could outgun and outskill their opponents in this game. I mean, sure, you got people using VPNs and whatnot, but other than that, there are definitely ways to outmaneuver your opponents, which brings me to my next point. The movement in this game is more shitty than the McDonald's public Wi-Fi. The movement feels so clunky and just not fluid at all. There's no slide canceling, which sucks completely. If you had watched Joe Wo's video, then you may recall that Joe Wo said this.
No slide canceling, and they're saying that I hate the movement because there is no slide canceling. And I honestly agree with them, saying that slide canceling is actually pointless. The reason why, in my opinion, is for the very, very casual player, or the person that doesn't get to play Call of Duty a lot and just likes to play the game for fun. Letting them press circle, circle X, circle, circle X, circle, circle X to slide cancel over and over and over and over. That is not a skill gap. That is not a skill, being able to just rapidly press buttons to outskill your opponents.
I completely disagree with this because slide canceling is a skill. Pressing buttons to slide cancel is a skill because if you use it properly in Warzone, you can actually outmaneuver your opponents and throw off their aim completely. Not to mention, it helps you build it into your muscle memory and also helps you rotate around zones faster and get to your bounties if you're an aggressive player like me. The bunny hopping in Warzone 2 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is also quite weird and not fluid at all. At least in this game, there is dolphin diving, but there's insane bugs where it allows you to essentially double jump and fly off the object you dolphin dived into. A Call of Duty Modern Warfare game without proper movement is like a toilet without a proper flush. Eventually, the shit gets too much. Moreover, one of the biggest problems with Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 is the blazing fast TTK. There's times where I'm playing and I get downed in like half a second and there's literally nothing I can do to react. This is like if a big dude named Tyrone rammed you in the prison showers before you could even pick up the soap. There's no time to react, move, try to get in position if you get shot at. The dolphin dive doesn't even help because even if you throw your opponent's shot off, the animation itself takes 3 seconds to get out of, and by then, you're saying hello to your favorite Gulag character. The time to kill in this game needs a complete rebalance overhaul and needs to be fixed soon, otherwise this game will be unplayable. I recognize that I'm on a higher ping in my videos, as you can clearly see, but that doesn't excuse the time to kill. That is absolutely ridiculous. So I've played this game for approximately 3 or 4 days, and there are already campers and rats. I believe that due to the insanely fast TTK, players don't want to engage in gunfights because they'll get melted in like 1 second. This type of TTK promotes camping and rats and just caters to sort of like the 40-year-old washed up dads who come home after a 9-to-5 depressing job to sit and camp in a dark corner and get like 1 kill thinking they're the best player to ever touch this game. This is sad and not what Call of Duty and Warzone is supposed to be. That's not what this game is. I recognize that there are a lot of casual players out there, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are also a lot of players like me who like to push and play aggressively, and you know, there's YouTubers out there that like to get their content and whatever. So this leads me to my next point, which is slow pacing. Slow pacing is probably one of the worst things to happen to a battle royale game. Nobody wants to sit in a building, holding a zone and waiting for gas to close in just to engage in a gunfight in the last circle where shit goes absolutely crazy. Slow pacing in Warzone 2.0 is more boring than being stuck in traffic.
We literally never fucking move! Ever!
And I mean that. Slow pacing kills games in general, even for the casual players. So we're both losing here. Warzone 2.0 is so slow and it feels like ages to find someone and engage in a fight. I personally want this fixed because I want to improve at the game. So that's not going to happen if I'm just sitting in a corner or holding zones or driving around in a car waiting I don't know how long to find any players. For example, a solution to this, Activision can add 50 more players and Al Mazrah can still comfortably hold them and allow for more engagements at the same time where players can run into each other. Some of the issues in the game can easily be fixed in patch notes, which is obviously good news. For example, the AI in the map, yes, you heard me correctly, AI or bots in a battle royale game. But anyways, the AI have literal aimbot. I stepped into a building and immediately got beamed. How have games still not figured out how to balance bots and their accuracy? It's 2022 and bots are still completely broken. Either remove them from the game or completely rebalance their aim because it's absolutely ridiculous. Every time I step into a building, I'm getting melted in like 1 second. If you ever heard Warzone and Battle Royale in the same sentence, what's the first staple that comes to your mind? That's right, loadouts. In Warzone 2.0, you can't get a loadout unless you complete a stronghold, or alternatively, you have to wait till the end of the game where the free one drops.
What?
This is so unbelievably stupid. Warzone 2.0 not having a proper loadout system is like a peanut butter jelly sandwich without the jelly. It just doesn't make sense. Loadouts need to properly return because otherwise, what's the point of me grinding multiplayer and leveling up guns just to not use them or use them like once every 4 games? One of the other issues in Warzone 2.0 is also the 1 UAV limit thing. Warzone 2.0 also feels like it is essentially punishing aggressive players and players who like to push and kill. How is it that there's a 1 UAV limit per buy station? Before, in Warzone 1, you could buy multiple UAVs and stack them in your team or activate them over and over until you reach an advanced UAV. That's so much better. This feels personally designed to ostracize aggressive players and punish them for being good at the game. Why am I being punished for being good at the game? Well, not technically because I'm being shit at the game right now, but once I actually get good at the game, I want to be able to use UAVs to my advantage and stack them in my team if I'm in squads to actually find players and kill them. One of the other problems that is very prevalent in this game is the bad plating system. Why in the does it require a 3-item vest to be able to fully plate up now? Who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to implement this system? If you carry 3 plates, then you should be able to plate as much as you want to. In a hectic gunfight, you can no longer fully plate unless you have the best vest, which is so stupid because that's not the point of the battle royale. You're supposed to know when to plate up. You're supposed to focus on the gunfight, not only looting or trying to find a vest. That's really stupid. This isn't Apex Legends. This should not be a thing at all. I believe this stupid mechanic should also be removed and just revert back to the normal plating system. Now, in Warzone 2.0, there are also a lot of minor issues, but those can be easily fixed, so I won't really get too much into detail with them. However, I've noticed a severe problem right off the bat. One of the minor issues, which obviously can be fixed, is the heartbeat. I picked up a heartbeat and tried to use it, but to my surprise, it didn't work. Like, at all. And it's not that there weren't players around me, it just actually didn't work. I knew that there was a player across from me in one of my gameplays because we had tracked them with a bounty, so we knew that they were across. Heartbeats just simply don't work. How do these developers release their games without checking for gameplay mistakes? Hopefully this is fixed soon because otherwise the heartbeats won't be useful, like at all. Another more severe issue, I would say, is probably the flashes. It seems like in Warzone 2.0, the devs did a complete 180 degree on their tactical equipment, which I find really funny. This is like if I had a broken finger and a functioning wrist, and then suddenly after my surgery, my wrist is now broken, but my finger is working. You see what I mean? And I can put it up my ass.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Flashes are now completely broken, but stuns are not as overpowered.
Chat, I'm telling you, this one in-game adjustment is going to have you shooting like Nadia. So while you're aiming, it's not a flash!
Remember in Warzone 1, when you got stunned, it was like, your game was done. There was literally no way to like do anything. Flashes need to be fixed. Maybe reduce the time flashed, or perhaps maybe reduce the effect slightly, because otherwise, once your screen is flashed, it's basically game over. Now, one of the longest running problems in Call of Duty is aim assist. Now, this is controversial because it seems to boil down to always the argument of mouse and keyboard versus controller. Nothing is more entertaining than the mouse and keyboard versus controller arc. Watching mouse and keyboard versus controller players fight and argue over who's the better player is more entertaining than watching Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX lose all his money. I personally am not a fan of how strong aim assist is, and I think it's also too strong in this game. I think it also needs a rebalance, but I'm not surprised because of Warzone 1. I mean, when we look at Warzone 1, the aim assist clips were just going crazy. And I hope hackers obviously aren't a problem, but aim assist needs to be rebalanced or maybe reworked completely because it's way too strong. One of the absolute most annoying, dumbest things in this game is the gun attachment unlocking. Let's say you want the MP5, also known as the Lockman sub. You have to upgrade a battle rifle to level 13. Then, to also unlock an assault rifle, you have to essentially upgrade said AR to a certain level to finally unlock the Lockman sub. Like, that's just so dumb. If you want to unlock the Edge 47 grip for the assault rifles, for example, you have to play DMZ, then kill an AI, then extract the M13 blueprint from the AI, then go to multiplayer and upgrade the gun to reach the attachment. This is completely unacceptable and a waste of time. This is like a gameplay wall instead of a paywall. You can't progress unless you're forced to complete some stupid challenges. This is unnecessary and completely made to hinder progression and camo unlocks. I'm actually getting angry. I also noticed something very strange. One of the most problematic things in this game is probably the Endgame Zones. They're usually out in the open, in the mountains or in the middle of nowhere where cover is like basically limited. This reduces the chances of the best team winning and reduces the Endgame Zone to a game of chance where anybody can win it. Again, this seems like it's sort of catered to the casual player, but it's just, this is very crucially wrong. Like, they should not be doing this. Strategy does help, don't get me wrong. Like, you can plan out what you want to do with your team in accordance with how the zone moves. You could get high ground, you could, occupy a building or clear it out. But that still doesn't change the fact that a lot of it boils down to luck. Like, luck is basically a major factor. Unsurprisingly, with this iteration of Warzone, the game crashes and dev errors are back.
My game crashed.
I
crashed as well. I crashed as well.
Hey, bro, you sit here for fucking 9 hours trying to do this shit. We get to the 5th fucking game and my shit crashes. Fix your fucking shit. You just made $1 billion! And you've done it every year! Every fucking year! You have made $1 billion+ from this game! And I can't even fucking play it!
Yep. Having a Call of Duty game without crashes and dev errors is like an alcoholic being a responsible person. It just won't happen. The dev errors are rampant, especially in solos for some reason. I've personally run into one crash on Warzone 2.0, so for my gear, I can't really say that it's too bad or it's not affecting me terribly, as it's only happened once. But I've been seeing a lot of major content creators experiencing crashes, dev errors. People have been complaining about it, especially in solos. So they need to do something about this because the crashing is really annoying, especially when you're on like a great game, you've been killing a lot of players, your loot looks good, and it just boom, it just crashes. Like, why would you do that? So I think they really need to do something about the crashing. On the other hand, although plating up has been pretty much the same, which is great, one issue still arises with this. You can't sprint and plate at the same time. In my opinion, this is one of the most overlooked and underrated problems in Warzone 2.0. A lot of content creators haven't been really talking about this, so I think that it's good that I'm talking about it. If you can't plate at the same time as sprinting, then gunfights again have no skill gap and players will die when all they needed to do was sprint and plate up at the same time, and that issue would be fixed. Plating and sprinting is one of the most important aspects of the game, especially in Warzone 1, where it was obvious. It controls the flow of fights, allows you to outplay your opponent, outmaneuver them, and maintains an advantage. So this is a shame that they haven't, sort of kept up this standard, but I guess we'll just wait and see what happens. So it's 2022, and the optimization in Call of Duty is just terrible. Warzone 2.0 is absolute. How is it that I have an RTX 2080 Super, but my game runs so bad it's almost as if I'm running it on an electrified potato? My FPS fluctuates between 30 to 80 FPS on low settings, by the way, with stuttering and internal game lag. This shouldn't be happening, especially since I have all the game drivers updated and my card is working smoothly in other games. The optimization for PC needs to be fixed as soon as possible, because for a AAA company, this is just getting sad now. So let's talk about the 2v2 Gulag situation real quick. The 2v2 Gulag is so weird and unlikable. I don't like it at all. What was wrong with just 1v1 Gulag on a small map? That was amazing. I don't understand why the devs keep changing things that don't need to be fixed or changed. Instead of focusing on the real issues like game crashes and major problems like stuttering, or even inside their own game, take things like gun attachment unlocking or aim assist, they focus on stupid things. They update things like the Gulag to have a 2v2 situation. I don't want to play 2v2 randomly and push in a large map trying to find players when they're also hiding behind barrels and stupid little objects. A smaller map with a 1v1 situation is so much better. They should revert that change and bring it back. Alright, so let's switch gears for a moment. In my opinion, I really do think that Activision or whoever is in charge needs to make a strong overhaul in the game, ranging from game issues to hardware issues. There's so many problems with this game, and I noticed this in only 4 days of playing and testing it out. I have to honestly say that I'm not impressed with the game and Warzone 2.0 at all, and I'm actually kind of disappointed. I say kind of because there are some good things about this game. It's not all negative. For example, Al-Mazrah is a great map. It looks beautiful. It's stunning. The guns feel good to use. The looting actually isn't too bad despite what a lot of people are saying. And proximity chat is probably the greatest thing they've added. However, they need to make a lot of changes and soon. If I was to rate this game, I'd give it a 6 out of 10 right now, which isn't very good, and I'd actually prefer Warzone 1 and Rebirth to this game. At this point, I would literally rather play Caldera over this game. I hope they make the changes as soon as possible as I go for the Orion camo, because otherwise Warzone 2.0 is not really worth playing. Thank you all for watching the video so much. Subscribe and like the video because I base my self-worth on how many subscribers I get. As usual, please leave a comment below if you agree or disagree with me. Leave a dislike below if you completely disagree with me and think this is a garbage video. That's fine too, as long as you're here with me. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about Warzone 2.0 and Modern Warfare 2, and I'd be happy to know what you guys think of this game because I want to see if most people sort of, agree with me or if they disagree with me. I'm sort of leaning towards people agree with me, but we'll see what happens in the comment section. Please don't start a riot. Let me know what you guys think. This has been your boy Dopamine, signing off.